All right, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the 10th episode of the Heart to Heart podcast. My name is Hafiz, and today we got a special guest, my boy Tyler's Wellness. How are you doing?
Honestly, doing well. Thanks for asking, bro. How you doing?
I'm doing well, can't complain at all. I'm super hyped up for this episode, and let's jump right into it.
Hey yo, you ready?
Please don't make this complicated. What about the time we wasted on our love? I can't keep the things we traded.
All right, so as you guys know, there are two different aspects to this podcast. The first one is where we're going to be playing a quick game. We're going to have a bit of fun, and then the second aspect, we're going to get to know him a bit better and what he does, etc., etc. And yeah, you ready to jump right into it?
I sure am. I'm
All
excited.
right, let's get it. Okay, so let's jump right into it. So your first question is, if you could control your dreams, what would you dream about? And your words are infinite, hill, and round.
All right. And then can you repeat the question one more time so I'm thinking about these words with the question.
Absolutely. So if you could control your dreams, what would you dream about?
Ooh, okay. If I could control my dreams, what I would dream about honestly might be do you watch Naruto by any chance?
Not really, but I know a bit about it.
All right. So in Naruto, there was this infinite Tsukunome, and what that was an infinite dream that Madara would put people under. So imagine if you were dreaming that you were laying on a hill, just very bliss, and at the top of the hill, you were looking down, and you could see just this whole village down there, and it was like nice. And because times are simple, the whole village is in the round shape of just like a circle. It's like a circular sphere surrounded by like fields and stuff like that. I would dream about just being in a simple place like that.
Bro, you killed that. Yo, you killed that, bro. You killed that. That was amazing. That was
Thank
epic,
you, bro.
bro. Okay, now I'm hyped. Yo, you set the bar. Bro, you set the bar high. Let's go. Let's go. I'm hyped.
All right, perfect. So now I got to think of a good question for you. You know, um, because I want to be a little creative. Now, setting the bar, using words, that's fun. That's the fun part. Asking
It
questions,
is.
that's hard. If you could be known for one thing and one thing only, um, what would it be? And your words are clean, national, zone.
Okay. So if I could be known for one thing and one thing only. All right. So one thing that I want to be known for, one thing that I really want to do, just as a person and as something that I feel is part of my duty in life is to help uplift people, to help people, achieve what they want to achieve. I start with myself, right? But the idea is we all end up achieving all that we want to do, right? Talking us at a national level, like all of us. But you got to be in your zone, right? When you're doing that in order to achieve it, which is extremely important. And another thing that a lot of people tend to forget is that clean eating helps clear your mind. It really does, right? And a clean environment too. Those are extremely important. And I feel like, just being, if I was to be known for one thing, it'd be that person who would, help other people achieve their dreams together. We're all in it together. That's what I dream for.
I like that. I like how you slid those words in there and that I was like,
Thank
how
you.
is he gonna get zoned or no, not zoned, clean? And you said another thing they forget is
Yeah.
clean eating. And I was like, oh
Thank you. Thank you.
yeah, no problem. Good stuff, bro.
All right. So hear me out, okay? Your superpower is that you could give people phobias. What fun and interesting thing would you make people afraid of? And your words are precision, green, and residence.
Okay. So if I had like a power and I can give people phobias, one thing I would do, I would kind of look at my own life as like a show because I watch anime in my spare time, And so my show would be like about these residents of a building, and they don't recognize it, but I'm one of the workers who, as I work, I kind of get like the green light from them when they tell me what their fears are. They don't realize it, but when I'm using precision tactics, when I'm asking them all of these really in-depth questions to just sort of understand where they're at in their mental state. Like, are they fearing like, the loss of a loved one? Are they fearing relationships or anything like that? And I ask these questions in a way where they don't realize that I'm the person who makes them dream it. And then I just make their fears come alive in their dreams.
Yo, okay, bro, we're setting the bar. We're setting the bar high. All right. I'm,
Bro, that was a tough one. I'm not gonna lie.
it
That was
was, but you killed it. Bro,
Thanks.
that's amazing.
All right. So let's see. I got a question for you here, or your question here would be, if you had to go back to school and you didn't have to choose a major or anything like that, but you had to go back to school and like relive like the 4 years of high school or whatnot. What would you do differently? And your words are horizon, avenue, and prospect.
All right. Okay. So the first thing that I feel like a lot of us tend to forget is that when we're in high school, we are a prospect for um a lot could be a lot of things, right? If you're deep into sports and you have athletic abilities, could be for that. But regardless, there is something that you are a prospect for, right? And usually another thing we don't realize is that success is right around the corner, right? Like it's on the horizon, like it's coming. We don't see it because we're busy surrounding ourselves with other people who focus on other aspects of things, they're not going out Warden Avenue or like what like Western Road or places, different streets where it's not quite as successful as others, right? We're just focused on the wrong thing. So what I would focus on if I was in high school, again, would be surrounding myself with the right people, because the people determine who you are at the end of the day. And I think that's extremely important that you understand who you are, what you're capable of, and not let other people dictate your life, really.
Mm-hmm. I like that. That was really smooth there, especially when you used the horizon and stuff as a street name.
I
Yeah.
didn't know how else to. Oh, I could have used avenue as a road, like as a pathway, as like an avenue to success.
Oh,
I
that's
could have used them all to that.
oh
Oh,
yeah. Avenue
sheesh.
to success. That would have been
Uh, that's all right.
smooth as
That's all
heck.
right. That's all
Hey,
right. That's all.
hey, you
That's all
killed
right.
it though. Killed it, bro.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. All right.
Yeah.
If you could tack on 100 years to the end of your life, but
Mm.
you would be old and frail during those 100 years, would you still do it and why? And your words are refuse, inside, and lot.
I like these words for this one. This is a really good one. I mean,
Oh,
if I got to tack on an extra 100 years to the end of my life, but I was old and all that kind of stuff, I guess it would depend on just how I was living my life. And currently, with the habits that I have going on inside my mind, thinking about the path that I want to go in the future, I would definitely refuse to live my life going down a bad path. I would put good habits into my life if I added an extra 100 years on, because at the end of the day, I now have whatever I would have died at plus 100. So, that's a lot. And I don't know what I would do.
all right.
Especially if I was like, the traditional old person sitting there for 100 extra years, I'd need VR just to like
Yeah.
just to chill or something.
Right. I second that big time. I second that. Like I can't like with the trajectory that life is heading into, right? It's like so much is happening right now. you're not gonna be able to do as much down the line, right? So it's like,
Right.
why,
So
right? I mean,
gotta take care of yourself and right now. And it's like if you already know you got that extra 100 years, you may as well refuse to live your life in a bad way.
exactly. Exactly. That's it. You nailed it. Nailed it, bro. I love that. I love that.
Hey, thanks, bro. Appreciate that one. Let's see. I got another question for you here.
Yes, sir.
So if you were a star of a TV show, except now this is the funny part about it, because you could be a star and everyone knows you and loves you and all that kind of stuff. But here's the thing: you're the star of a TV show and it's wildly popular, except it's only popular in countries that don't speak your language. So if that were the case, and then you were, how would you feel like telling your friends and family that you were, in this show that was super popular, but they can't even understand it because it's like it's shot in a language that that they don't speak, and your words are peanuts, option, and variable.
Okay, I just want to clarify one thing real quick. So, do I speak
Yeah.
that language? Is it just me?
Yeah. So
and
you went on the show. You speak the
Okay.
language, or you're on the show, right? Maybe you didn't even talk, but the show is like in another language that that other people around you don't speak natively, and if they were to watch it, they wouldn't understand it. There's no subtitles or anything.
All right, cool. All right, so first thing I do is tell them about it. I'd be like, hey, like I'm a part of this extremely successful show, and I'd be like, I understand that, I understand that you love supporting me, but with this show, because you don't understand it, because it's something that you won't fully understand, you're given the option of, not necessarily, looking into it or supporting into it. But picture this. We're sitting on the couch, okay? And snacking on peanuts, because like peanuts are nuts and some of them taste good, okay? And
Yeah.
we're doing math, okay? And there's a special, so we're talking about the concept of variables, and we're doing this because math is terrible, but I still need to review math. I don't know why I need to, but I still need to. So that's what the focus of the conversation with them is going to be on, because they're not going to understand the other aspect of it. So I enjoy it. Basically, the life is going to be, slightly separate, right? It's like one aspect of it is going to be, what they understand, the math and the snacks and stuff, that I'm going to be with them, I'm going to enjoy it with them. But like the other aspect, right? They're going to have the option. They're not going to necessarily understand it. And that's okay. That's perfectly okay.
Right.
That was
I like how
kind
you
of
turned
hard.
that to, hey, no, you did good. You pushed it to like, all right, so that was one conversation. Now we'll talk about math.
I couldn't think of connecting variable.
Hey, honestly, these are tough, and like you
That's the
killed
fun.
it with that one. I mean, like you found a way to make it work, and that's all the game is.
Thank you. That's true. That is true. That I've had a lot worse ones. But that's okay.
Oh,
We're not
yeah.
gonna focus on that right now. We're not gonna focus on that.
All
All
right.
right. You ready for your next question?
Okay. Yes.
Okay. If you could merge two games together and make a new one, what games would you choose and what would the results be? Any type of game, could be sports games, could be like board games, any type of game at all, okay? And your words are result, painter, and needle.
Result, painter, and needle. So any kind of game. I gotta think. It's been a while since I played some games, to be honest. Ooh, okay. How about this? I'm gonna fuse some things that would not even be realistic to fuse. But here we go. So I used to play on my Nintendo DS this game called Mega Man Star Force, and so I would fuse Mega Man Star Force with Ultimate Frisbee. So what would happen is I would love to be the main character of Mega Man Star Force, of course, because as you're going through, um, one of the first things that happen in the game is he's Geo, the main character. He's laying down on the ground, and he kind of looks like a painter. He's just kind of chilling there on the ground. Got these goggles on, looking up at the stars, and you see this like shooting star go by in the sky, and it's got this long trail behind it that looks kind of like a needle sharp pin at the back. Um, and as he's looking at the stars, like this crazy like crash happens on the ground, and all of a sudden like his glasses kind of go from his forehead, falls down to his eyes, and it lets him see, you know, the results of what's going on. And what's actually happening is there's this battle that he wouldn't have been able to see unless his glasses were on. And man, so he could actually finally see the battle. And what happened was one of these creatures like fused with him, and at that point, you know, I would have the ultimate frisbee in my hand, and I'd have the superpowers that he would have just inherited, and I'd be the baddest player on the game. Man, no one would be able to stop me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You definitely would be, without a doubt, bro. That was a fun
Bro, that was-
story. I'm not gonna lie. And yes,
That
it was a
was
story
tough.
because I didn't know about that game, and now I know about that game, and I still don't know how to throw a frisbee properly, but that's okay. We'll work on that later.
Hey man, I feel you, but that was tough to be
Yeah.
100%.
It was. It
Um,
was. The route I would have taken if I was you is
Mhm.
like a simple game like Two Truths and a Lie, and like I'd combine it with something, maybe just like a game that didn't require like a physical game per se. So like Two Truths and a Lie and maybe Truth or Dare. So I combine them together.
Yeah, I for some reason when I was not thinking about games. Like I was trying to think about games, and I was like, I don't know.
Yeah. Nah, I feel
And
you. I
so-
feel you on that. It's, bro, you got the words. I learned something new. You win. Like,
Right. What actions in your life will have the longest reaching results, but also yield significant consequences? And your words are jealous, mourning, and upset.
okay, probably the greatest action that I've done that has produced great results, but also has had significant consequences is taking a step back from certain people as need be. Because like I'm a social person, right? So I tend to find myself interacting with people a lot, and not everyone's gonna have a positive impact in your life, right? Some people are gonna be jealous. Some people are just gonna be they're just upset in general, right? Just like upset. Other people with little things in life, they're gonna start mourning it, right? And it's like you don't want to be around that type of environment. You want to be around, positive, uplifting people. So one of the things that I did that ended up, I'm not gonna say I lost friends. It's just I never that connection that I used to have with them isn't there or isn't as strong as it was, but that's inevitable that comes as a result of you not gonna say backing off. Actually, it is backing off. You backing off from it a little bit, and then redirecting that time and energy to other things, right? To other people who have a similar mindset and to other resources that'll help you one up in life. So, yeah, that's my answer.
Nice. I mean, dang, that was a lot better than my last answer, to be honest.
Hey, the question was slightly different. Like your question was
Yeah.
a little bit easier to maneuver than mine, so it's completely understandable. Don't worry, it's all good. All right, you ready for your last question?
I am.
All right. What would you do if you were suddenly given world-class hacking knowledge and ability, and your words are simplicity, interactive, and bacon?
Okay. So if I was given world-class hacking information, was it?
Ability, so you could
Ability.
hack people.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, so let's have a fun little game. I like to play games, and I would create an interactive game. If I had these hacking skills, I would go and create my own little. I would call it a game, of course. It would be very simple, right? Because simplicity is key. I don't want anyone to be confused. And if I'm able to hack in the massive scale that I'm thinking I am able to, I would be able to put an interactive screen on everybody's phone. And all it would be is this character of a bacon bit, like literally a bacon cut up in like a square, but it's like got an eyeball and a nose and a face smiling and everything, and just say, "Hey, I hacked you," and that's it. It'd be an interactive game because, like, if you tap on it, it would say, "Oh, you missed." Like it would try to dodge or something like that and say something, and yeah, it's just bacon.
Yep.
Very simple, interactive game.
I want someone to do that. I want someone to create a program like that. Even if it doesn't go to everyone, that would be absolutely epic.
Right? It's pop up. It's just like a bacon character. Like,
Bro, I love that. That was amazing. That was great, honestly. I like
hey,
that.
thank
I
you.
like that.
Appreciate that. What I'm gonna give
Yeah.
you is your final question. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Bum 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 bum. So you're a CEO of a major corporation, except the major corporation is pretty exclusive. Public eye doesn't know about it, but you have the right to do a lot of things. You could do illegal things if you wanted to, or legal things, right? Help people out. Do anything you want to do, and there's absolutely no repercussions from your company simply because they just got the green light. What is your next project that you're going to do? And your words are excuse, driver, and seller.
All right. A retreat. Listen, if you're offered a free retreat, regardless of whether you're an Uber driver, regardless of whether you are a seller of items, you have no excuse but to take it, especially considering the fact that it's free and you get experiences that you would have never gotten otherwise. I'm talking experience to connect with people, lifetime connections. I'm talking experience to push past your boundaries, experience to be comfortable, experience to really, really get to know yourself, to really dive deep into things that you otherwise wouldn't be able to. A retreat, that's what it is. And I'd make one that's free for everyone. My mission would not change. It's all about us all growing together, and a retreat's the perfect place to get started with that.
Nice. I like that. I use them all now.
Thank
Got
you,
him
thank
now.
you, thank you. All right, perfect. So that concludes this aspect of the podcast. And now we're going to jump into the second part where I'm going to be asking you certain questions about yourself, about what you do, etc., etc. Would you mind starting by just briefly introducing yourself? And yeah, just briefly introducing yourself, please.
Yeah, perfect. So my name is Tyler Wellness. At least that's what I go by on the internet here. And I help open-minded individuals make themselves a priority by turning their talents to income using online methods. And the reason that I say by what I go by on the internet is Tyler Wellness. That's my journey that I am inviting everyone to join, right? Wellness being, health, wealth, relationships, and happiness, right? We're all looking for these things. But the thing is, we all have the ability to get any of those, but we have to make ourselves a priority first and realize what we want. That's it. I help people do that, leveraging the internet.
All right. I love that. And yeah, I've been following you for quite a bit now on different platforms. And I love the work you're doing. Genuinely proud of, your constant push for what you believe in, which I also really align with. And I'm really, really excited to get to know you a bit better and for others to get to know you. So how would you introduce yourself to someone who's meeting you for the first time?
Yeah, I suppose it depends on I guess what situation. So how are we meeting? I guess is it a scenario or?
Sure. So let's say you're walking in the street and someone recognizes you Like they've heard your name, they've seen like a couple of your videos, but like now they want to get to know you. How would you
Uh,
introduce yourself?
um, to be honest, yeah, I'm not sure. I would
All right.
say, I'd be pretty confident, of course, just the conversation in that whatever aspect. But
Mhm.
if they know who I am, I guess I wouldn't be sure from what
Right.
aspect of
Okay,
me,
okay.
no.
I get what you're
Yeah.
saying. I get what you're saying. Okay, let's flip the script. They haven't heard of you before, and let's say someone told them, "Yo, I heard about this Tyler's wellness guy. Um, check out more, about him and what he does." And they give you the contact information, right? And now they ask you, "Oh, hi. How would you introduce yourself from
Hey, yeah. Sort of how I did just a moment ago. You know, I'm Tyler, and I help people use the internet basically to increase their income. Make more money for themselves, or also on top of that, my platforms in general are for empowering other people to realize that they can do whatever really they want. And I just be kind of really chill. For the most part, people don't have to tiptoe on eggshells around me. I'm go with the flow. You can be weird, whatever, and I'm just like, all right, you know.
there?"
So
Yeah, I like that. I like that, and I think it's important to be open-minded as a whole. Just as someone who's as honestly as a human being. I think it's important to be open-minded to understand different perspectives and to, you know, be accepting that the environments and situations are different. Um, so what is something that people might misunderstand about you?
yeah, one thing for sure. You know, I'm flexible with a lot of just anything, right? I'm flexible with plans. I'm flexible with especially plans, business plans, etc. Like the flow of things usually being it. But um, if I say something and then later events prove that we should probably adjust the plan or do something else, people might think that I am a person who's not um, uh, someone you can talk to maybe up front, because I do say my plans and I'm bold, but I would change if there's logically a reason why we should. If it makes sense that if there's data, I would listen to you and hear your suggestions and make a educated change. It's not like my way or the highway, if that makes sense. I just will. I like to get stuff done, and I know if I leave stuff in the air, no one else is going to take personal initiative. So I got to push and say, hey, this is what we're going to do, and this is when we're doing it. And so it might seem like, oh, it's got to be his way or the highway, but it's no. It's like we need to get stuff done.
Right. Definitely. That's a really, really good point. I think a lot of people, when you look at when it comes to things that need to be complete, they'll be like, "Oh, I expect the other person to do it, and if they don't do it, why should I do it?" Right? And I think that's the wrong way of approaching things. I think we need to take initiative. A lot of people lack taking initiative, to be honest. Um, what advice would you have for your younger self?
For my younger self, honestly, it depends on what what stage of me. I feel like I've gone through a lot of different, like I would say, like waves or stages or whatever, just of growth in general. But just in general, make yourself a priority. Keep going, keep pushing forward.
Why should someone make themselves a priority?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and yeah, I get that question a lot, of course, because the t-shirts and everything is the slogan. But if you aren't actively making yourself a priority, you're sort of drifting through life, prioritizing whatever other people want you to prioritize. And so you get to the end of your life and you're like, wow, I did not do the things I wanted to do. I did what everyone else wanted to. And all as you're navigating your life, you feel like you're just getting pushed around and doing what other people want you to do. When you make yourself a priority, you set your own goals, you make things that you want to do, and you actually get them done. And it's not always a selfish thing, because like you could prioritize having generational wealth to pass down to your family, and you can actually just do those things. Make sure your goals are set, your sales are set, and go for it. you know
Mhm.
That's why they should make themselves a priority.
Definitely. I think, yeah, no, I think it's definitely important because if you don't make yourself a priority, no one will. This is the
Right.
reality of the world that we live in. And I think it is important that we do make ourselves a priority. But I also do think that we need to make a distinction between making ourselves a priority um, by completely forgetting about other important aspects of life and other important people around you um, versus how it's supposed to be, which is you prioritize yourself while taking into account, the other important people in your life. Um, if we, I feel like some people, what they end up doing is they'll dive way too deep into improving themselves to the point they forget about the important and valuable people in their life, right? Like there are people who literally won't even talk to family members or friends because they're so into like working, building something up and whatnot. And I think there needs to be that distinction between um the people, the important people around you, and a project that you're working on or something that you're building on. I think that distinction is important to have. But no, I definitely agree with you with regards to the importance of making yourself a priority and whatnot. Um,
One thing I would say there too, adding on to what you had to say, is yeah, it's all about knowing the difference between the important people in your life and the ones that aren't that important to you, right? A lot of people end up giving energy away to people that don't actually mean that much in the grand scheme of their life. You could go months without talking to this person who always drags you down or puts you in weird situations that you don't want to be in, but you would feel bad about just not answering the phone or not texting them or whatever, not giving them your energy. But all you got to do is not do that thing, not text them back, not do one action, and you will instantly start to elevate yourself because you're not feeding back into that old energy. That's
right.
about it.
Yeah, no, that's another good point. Like as human beings, we do, if we let too many people into our life, we're gonna feel overwhelmed. It's gonna distract us from a lot of important things. So there definitely needs to be, that balance of letting in important people into our life and kind of limiting it to the important people. To be honest, and that's not to say to not ever spend time with people who you wouldn't deem quote unquote essential, but you need to, like, most of your time should be allocated to people who are going to help you improve and people who you could help improve and whatnot. What are some signs of friendships or friends that you should distance yourself from, or as I like to say, you should love from a distance? What are some signs of people like that?
Yeah. I mean, maybe some signs. I don't know. I'm not really to be honest, like I am a really nice, I would say nice person. That sounds weird to say, call yourself a nice person, but in aspect, like I've had people do stuff like that's just like sketch, but then I'm just like, all right, well, I just won't text you anymore ever. But it's not like that I won't um that I will intentionally just like cut them off or like be like, all right, this is a red flag for that person. I don't know, if I just don't like your energy. If I don't like something about you, I'm just like, all right, maybe something's up with you, man. I don't know. Uh
Yeah.
um I guess like I don't know, I haven't really had too many bad run-ins with people, so it's like I don't really have too many to be like, yeah, that's for sure a red flag. That's for sure, no, I haven't really had any personal issues.
That's good. That's really good. I'm glad to hear that. Tell us a little bit more about what you do on social media, the different platforms that you have, and how you are trying to work towards the goal that you're trying to achieve.
Heck yeah, thank you, bro. I appreciate this platform, by the way, to be able to be on this podcast.
Thank you for
Um,
coming.
yeah, again, appreciate the invite that you sent. Didn't expect, I didn't know you had a podcast out here. But anyway, so one thing I'm doing on social media is, I have multiple platforms. I have the YouTube channel, I have Twitter, I have TikTok, Instagram. I have multiple Instagrams, Facebook, everything. But I also run a social media management company. So I run ads for my clients. all on their social media. I can run their social media accounts. I know growth strategies, etc. So as I'm growing my stuff, I'm also seeing what's working, and I'm able to give my clients the best strategies and make them work for them. Also seeing what works on their accounts and able to implement that on mine, and kind of vice versa, feed it back and forth. Um, Overall, my goal is, I want to help over a million people. I say a million, but then that's capping it. I don't want to cap it. I don't want to just stop at a million. So, over a million people, and that's the capability of the internet. You put content online and you're able to have someone search for that and it helps them. I could try to do that in person, but if it's not recording, that can't be tapped back into in the future. That can't be browsed when someone else needs it most. It is a good moment to have, one-on-one, but also leverage the internet, use your social media and be social. There are people out there who don't know that you have certain skills. And so I use my social media to tell people what those skills are, reach out to them and let them know how they can leverage theirs or whatever. Just a ton of different avenues. And I guess it depends on which one of my businesses to explain which strategy.
Yeah. Which I was just gonna ask you that. Would you like to hop on? Would you mind just talking about the different like businesses or services that you run and that you offer? Um,
Yeah, definitely. Appreciate that. Thank you. So my main business that I do is, well, I guess it's if you think of it as like an umbrella, I guess, of businesses, right? The main one that got everything started is called Modern Digital Groups. That's my media company. I build websites, sales funnels, run advertisements, or anything digital online for my clients. So I can get them basically full. For the most part, I have restaurants, I have gyms, trainers, stuff like that. So I have some trainers that have online programs, and I have automated systems online that are selling their programs. I have a friend online, or a friend who wrote a book, and I was able to build him a sales funnel online that sells his book just, on autopilot. So that's what we do at the top level of the business. Then, if you break it down into what that business has allowed me to do, I was able to build my clothing brand, Trendwave, which is, the shirt here, got pants on, shoes, stuff like that. And so that's one aspect. Then from that, I was also able to build a Talent to Income Academy, which is where I teach other people how they can literally start from their own phone and just start building assets online that can make them money. They don't even need to know a lot of technical information, because if they go through the academy, I will literally give them a copy and paste system that they can use, that I use, So it's like they get all of that just automatically. And then also just any partnering programs and stuff like that, because affiliate marketing and stuff like that, that's all you can also do that kind of stuff through the internet. And so in my hierarchy of businesses, all the affiliate marketing stuff that I'm attached to. But yeah.
that's great, bro. I'm really happy for you, and I'm really happy to see, the streaming up into different similar. There, it's similar but not quite the same. Just streaming off into other ways. Basically, as you said multiple times, having multiple streams of income, which is absolutely great. I actually didn't know about the academy. I'm gonna look into that. That actually sounds kind of interesting. I'm gonna really look into that. But what got you started on like businesses as a whole, in terms of starting your own and creating your own? What was how did you end up getting started with it? What got you into it?
Yeah, that's a great question. So have you heard of the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I had read that book, and that was around the time when I was leaving a full-time job and going into part-time jobs so I could explore just more options. Because when I was at my full-time job, I was there like 56, 60, plus hours a week, working all the time, nonstop. And it's a place that was open 24 hours a day. And I was a manager. and I would work at multiple locations, and I would cover shifts, and I would just do everything. And so, I didn't have a life other than their business. Their business was what I lived, breathed, and sleep. And so at that time, I had transitioned out of there and I worked at a bank. I also had picked up a job at Sprint and I started doing Jimmy John. So I had 3 jobs at that point. And during those jobs, I would listen to audiobooks like Think and Grow Rich. And as I was doing so, I was starting to like hack my time even more. And I added on a couple extra jobs. So from those 3, I added on Grubhub, DoorDash, and I also picked up a life insurance sales job. So I had 5 jobs at that time. And I was just like, man, if I'm able to literally put in all this work for all these other jobs and not really feel tired just because it's like just fun stuff to do, because I was having fun while I was doing it. Imagine if like, I don't know, imagine if I just put this much effort into something of my own, right? So I started to like put more effort into just creative aspects and figure out what I could possibly bring to the marketplace. And eventually, while I was doing a DoorDash, I had got one of my, like, I just sort of told somebody what I was in the midst of thinking. Because, I was like, yeah, I can build websites, I can do ads and everything and whatnot. And someone had asked me, what do I do? And I was like, yeah, right now I do these jobs, currently doing, DoorDash and stuff right now, picking up an order. But, mainly I make websites and run ads and stuff. Little did I know that person's now one of my reoccurring clients. And every month, I get a check from them. So
Nice.
and yeah, so obviously clear to say now I don't have any of those 5 jobs. I just mainly am self-employed now, and I have a couple reoccurring clients as well as I just recently closed one of my biggest sales yet to make one of their big websites, which I'll talk about later, maybe on another thing.
Congratulations, bro.
Hey,
I
thank
see
you,
you
bro.
going to big places. I'm proud of all the work you've done. Definitely there've been days where like I wouldn't want to do anything. And then I'm just casually scrolling TikTok and your video pops up. I'm like, okay, all right, you know what? If he's doing it, I gotta do it. And then it's time to go to work. So definitely keep up what you're doing. I really, really do appreciate it. And yeah, I got a couple more questions if you don't mind.
Oh
So
yeah, bro.
if you could remove all barriers and constraints to a project, what would you do? And yeah, what would you do?
Hmm. Barriers and constraints to a project. Is this like just a permanent thing? Like you can just go and start any project and be like, nope, 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 or is it just like one that I currently have?
No, anything at all. Whatever project you want to start, there's gonna be nothing stopping you from doing it. Not the resource, not the financial resources, not the um person, not the human. There's nothing is stopping you. So you could think of your most ideal project here.
Awesome. But, honestly, I think this would be really cool if we were able to fully replace all of the roads with electric roads, and then the cars that are able to charge while they're on these electric roads, right? And so then these cars are driving on the electric roads, being charged by it. Also, we're able to, while the wheels are spinning and whatnot, it's creating a charge in itself, which can charge the lights that are on the roads. So literally, we can create a whole system of just like self-sustaining stuff by using the fact that we already have cars that are moving. If we had electric cars, enough of them that we're able to charge from the road, charging them, the whole system would start getting going. I don't know.
Okay.
That'd be
I
really
just I just gotta ask, how long have you thought about this? 'Cause clearly you've thought about this for quite a bit.
and honestly, there was some thought. There was quite a bit. Yeah, I was a buddy of mine. We were thinking and building. He's now really more building on that aspect. I'm doing like the internet side of stuff, but trying to do some stuff with like energy and stuff like that. So if we can build like a sustainable energy system, that would be dope.
That really, really would. I'd love to get in a conversation with electric cars, to be honest, because like I do have my personal opinions, and I'm sure you do as well. but we'll leave that for another day. I got one last question for you. Okay,
Yeah.
what should I ask you that I didn't know enough to ask?
Hmm. That's a very good question. Oh man. That's gonna open up. Let's see. What should I hmm. Now I'm thinking because I don't know what I'm willing to say anything, to be honest. Like I'm willing to answer a lot of questions. Let's see. Shoot.
So like,
But what huh?
sorry. So like what's like okay? Basically, what's a question? Picture yourself in my shoes right now. What's a question
Yeah.
you would ask yourself?
Mm, 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 mm. You know, since my paid thing is teaching people how to turn their talents to income, I guess like where anyone or no, actually, let's do this one. I have a better one because this one's gonna help a lot more people, I feel. So let's go with this one.
All right.
Since my slogan is making yourself a priority, right? How does one make themselves a priority and how do they get started, right?
I love that. I love that. Yes, sir.
So, how anyone can get started making themselves a priority is my 4-step plan to success. And I'll drop those gems right here. And actually, I'll even give you guys a secret bonus one that's step 0 before the 4 steps begin. All right.
All right, let's go.
So, yeah, so I'll drop that bonus gem at the very end. But
right.
step number 1 in the 4-step plan to success is to decide. You need to decide exactly what it is that you want to have in your life, what exact lifestyle you want to live, what situations you want, you know, what aspects of your life do you want to start to be able to move towards, right? Set a goal for yourself, decide. Number 2, now after you've decided what you want, you don't necessarily have to know everything about it already. You don't have to know how to get it, but this is where you start to create the plan, right? You're gonna figure out like, okay, maybe if you wanted to get yourself a car, right? Could be something simple as that. You want to get yourself a brand new car. How much is the car? You know, where can you get the car? What type of car is it? Ask yourself all these questions, fill in all that information. So now you know, oh, I need $30,000 so I can get my Audi A5 from the Audi dealership down the street. And I want to do that, you know, by the end of this year or, you know, anywhere, anytime. But the thing is, you already know what car it is, you know how much money you need, and you know where you're going to get it, right? So now you can make a plan to do so. You're like, well, I need 30K. How can I get 30,000? Well, I could do a $1,000 product to 30 people. You can break down these into any infinite amount of ways that you need until you have your plan, right? Number 3 is once you do all the work making that plan, execute it. You can't just have a plan and think about it and never take action. Most people, they get to this spot and don't do it, but you have to take action, you know? So execute your plan. And number 4, after you know, decide what you want, made a plan, execute it, you have to, one, if you need to, revise your plan if necessary, but be relentless, right? Because, you know, you can't just do 10 push-ups and expect to get a ripped Greek god physique. You have to keep doing this until you have the ripped god Greek physique, right? You have to keep doing the actions over and over. So that's how the whole process works. And the secret gem, though, that before you start even going down this path that you're going to need is belief. You need to believe that you can do the thing that you say you can. You know, for you to be able to get that Greek god physique or whatever, getting it by doing these push-ups, you have to believe that that's a process that you can actually follow and do it. Otherwise, you're just going to be doing these actions that don't correlate with the results you want, and there's no correlation. You're not getting it. But yeah, that's it.
Thank you so much for that. I've seen those 4 steps, that 4-step plan before, but I needed to hear it again. So thank you for that. And I'm sure a lot of people are definitely going to be listening to it and internalizing it, because that really is how you get something done. Like that is it. And I think I would argue the most important of them all is the first one, is actually step 0. So believing in it. I would argue that's the most important out of everything else, because if that doesn't exist, none of the rest exists. Like the rest just doesn't doesn't exist. So yeah, thank you so much for that. Would you like to add anything towards just any last words, any suggestions, anything at all?
Right. Well, if anyone is interested, as you had mentioned that you didn't know about the academy and such, if anyone is interested in learning more about that, it is called the Talent to Income Academy, and it is for helping open-minded individuals. The reason I say that is people know that there's alternative ways to make income out online, right? And so if you're already open-minded enough to know that that exists and you're ready to learn how to do it, this is for you, right? So the Talent to Income Academy is for those open-minded individuals who want to turn their talents to income. I will teach you how to discover what your talents are. I will teach you how you can leverage your talents to create income streams. I'll teach you how you can leverage other people's talents to create income streams, how to start businesses without having any physical inventory to get started, how to start a service-based business without being the person who does that service, and also how to do affiliate marketing, which means you can sell from the comfort of anywhere, doing other people's products and services. And you don't even have to show your face if you don't want to. So,
All
yeah.
right. Awesome. Thank you so much, man. I really do appreciate you coming on, spilling some wisdom, and spreading the word on making yourself a priority. So I really appreciate that. Thank you so much for listening, everyone. His information will be somewhere on the screen, and make sure to follow him on all social media platforms. He's doing a great job. And yeah, thank you all for listening, and I will talk to you all in the next episode. All right, take care.
Thanks again, Hafiz.